Brad, thanks for meeting with me here today. Main point of what I want to get done today is you want to go over your needs as a business before I leave. You know, what your customers are looking at you and the message that they're seeing, as well as, more importantly, the most important probably portion of it is your capacity to grow as a business and how you would like to do that going forward. Before we jump into a lot of that, what I do for all my clients is I put my consumer hat on and I go on the internet and take a look at all the advertising that is being done for you out there on the internet and how your customers can find you. And got some concerns, got some good things going out there for you, but before I jump into a lot of questions, I'd like to go into what I found, if that's all right with you.
Sounds good.
Perfect. First thing I always do is I always go on Google and I take a look at the market that we're trying to service and really look at the kind of pie that you're really going after for market share. When bringing up this information, it's always clear on how surprised that both the customer and myself always are on how much competition there actually is out in the market, so it's always a good idea to take a look at. And before diving too much into this, I just like to get a good idea on your feelings and your thought process of how to advertise on the internet, so I have a better idea of how much to explain. As you can see here, here's the two different ways to advertise on search engines. On the top hand side is, on the top and the right is more your paid search. Their paid placement that you pay people to be able to show up there, more of an instantaneous result. Here in the green area is what we call search engine optimization, and that's more of your organic searches of a little bit harder to manipulate, but that's where search engine optimization services come in to be able to manipulate and bring you up those ranks and build your relationship with Google. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. The first thing I always take a look at and doing some very specific searches to the business. For auto bodies, simply typing in auto body Cedar Rapids, Iowa, or dent removal Cedar Rapids, Iowa, paint, scratch, dent removal, things like that. A concern here that I have is that out of those searches that I did, I very rarely found you on the first page. And as much of a concern as it probably is for me, it's even a more concern for you. So I'll be asking some questions here moving forward of, you know, how big of a deal is this? You know, where are you at with the business on it and your thoughts on it as well. But I just wanted to point that out, that most times I had to go to the second or even third page to find you as a business.
Okay.
Kind of a, you know, just a quick idea is that, you know, we partner with all these different kinds of businesses from that standpoint, and our partnerships are all top of the line, and with that, with our search engine optimization partner, they're actually ranked second in the nation right now to do business with and getting results from that standpoint. So rest assured I have a solution for that. From your website standpoint, I couldn't really find a website out there for the body shop specifically. It's more tied with the dealership that you're with. And on there you only have one page that's really just specifically talking about hours, which is probably a lot of what's dealing with your lack of presence out there on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to have some in-depth conversation about your website and thoughts about getting your own website for the auto body side of things and how that can help improve your presence out there.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Yep.
Great. As far as and I know in previous conversations you said you have some input on the dealer site, so I wanted to show you some information out there for how it is ranking and things like that. The biggest improvement I see from that standpoint are two things. One is that it's not mobilely optimized. And you'll see later on here on the presentation on how big of a deal that's going to be here going forward. And then the other thing is with how big social media is right now, there's no real link to driving people to that. That's just a simple change that you guys can make to have a better presence on there and to market from that standpoint.
Okay.
One thing I always do is I plug your business into a tool to get all your listings out there on the internet to make sure that we have all the correct information. It's listed right, your address is right, what the reviews look like out there for the business, as well as you know, hours of operation and website info. In this, you know, it came back with 104 errors. So something that we'll talk about going forward and how we can fix those with a quick click of a button. Now, when I did a search for you on Facebook and some of the other social media, the only page I saw out there for you was Facebook. I didn't see anything on LinkedIn, Google Plus, or Twitter for that example. Probably because in your mind frame that similar to Google, that Facebook is more the dominant player in that market.
Right.
However, when I did find that, it's great that you have a Facebook page, but right now it looks like the last activity on there is from 2011. So
Okay.
I wanted to talk about how you're managing to that, some thought processes going forward, and how much of an impact that's going to have on your business going forward.
Sounds good.
Now, with your advertising that you're currently doing that and talking about your Dex nose placement, our local search engine here, right now you're hovering right in the middle as placement goes between rotating between the 6 and 10 spot. Your profile that you have filled out up there is I probably rated an 8 out of 10. Some things that we can look at going forward is making sure that we have a little bit more detailed content. Your hours don't seem consistent with what's on the website, so I want to make sure we have a conversation around that, as well as the biggest thing I want to talk to you about an opportunity is making sure that we can get you to rotate within those first 5.
Great.
Now, I mentioned to you that I'd be talking briefly about how important that having a mobilely optimized site is. One thing with our partnership with Google is that they told us is that if you talk about one thing this year with your clients, it should be this. It should be that if your site is not mobilely optimized by the end of 2014, the chances are you will not be a part of any mobile searches as a viable source.
Oh, wow.
So definitely have to have that conversation about, the website that's out there and possibly how to help your business site going forward.
Okay.
From a print standpoint, your print ad is fairly strong. And the biggest thing that you're offering here is free loaner cars, which is definitely a competitive advantage from everybody else that's out there. And easy to read, talks about your branding. The only thing that I'm seeing here is, again, marketing towards social media, and then getting more of a personal approach with some photos and really hitting towards the emotional aspect of their decision making in this process.
Okay, good idea.
This is just a checklist that I like to show my customers because it's just really showing that it's not just us looking at it. This is a checklist that's provided to us for someone that makes a heck of a lot more money than I do, that has just studied advertising over and over again and gives us an idea of how a website works, good working websites and good working marketing from that standpoint.
All right.
This is where I like to take a quick pause of, taking a look at some of the information I've talked about and get your gauge on some of the most important in your mind frame from a business standpoint. So let's have a quick conversation about that and some of the key points that we touched on, and then we'll go to seeing what's the best solution for you.
All right.
Great. Brad, thanks for giving me the information that you had out there. I think we uncovered a lot of opportunities for you as a business, especially with where your customers are coming out. Some of the key things that we're focused on last time is, the lack of presence out there for you on the internet, and the importance of social media. You said that from a website standpoint, that is a concern of yours, but you've been working with the dealership to have more of a website presence, so you were going to work with them a little bit more before you took a look at options of getting your own site. As far as the business and growth goes, some of the conversation that we had is that you told me, well, I can handle as much business as you can bring me. But after, some more in-depth conversation and really taking a look at the advertising that what you'd like the advertising to do for you. You know, we boiled it down to you want to take a look at a program that could bring you right around 5 more clients a month. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay. And that boiled down to about additional $12,500 of revenue monthly for you.
Right.
Right. So what I did is I went back and put together a lot of information from that standpoint, took a look at all these different programs that we have out there to put together the best program that would do that for you.
Sounds good.
And before I jump into that, I just want to give you a quick synopsis of why you should be allowing Dex to do that from both a digital standpoint and a print standpoint.
Okay.
Okay, it's always important to understand that. You know, you've been doing business with us for years, and you said, you know, like in our last conversation, is that you guys are just a yellow page company. That's not necessarily the case. We actually have 143 billion network searches. That's all equates to 22 million a day.
Mm.
So we're actually one of the larger internet companies out there.
Okay.
Okay. We generate over 171 million clicks for our customers, and 21 million calls, and we have over 200,000 digital customers out there.
Okay.
So, I just wanted to show you that, rest assured, you're partnered with one of the biggest digital companies out there. I always like to show this because it's always astounding. Google makes a lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
They made $39 billion. But what's really interesting is showing some of these top industries and how much money they spent. You know, for example, you got Progressive here that spent $43 million on advertising. You got Expedia that spent $29 million on advertising. Some big players out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's always astounding to people is that at Dex Media we spent over $100 million on advertising.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we are one of the largest premier partners at Google, and we've won several awards for our products with them.
Okay.
So, you know, getting down to it, what can I do for your business, and how does that stack up? When we take a look at it from the Dex standpoint, is that, you know, we want to get your business found. Okay, quite simply. We want to get it chosen, and then we want to get it talked about. How can we keep people generating word of mouth from that standpoint? Okay, so I took a look at these 3 aspects and weighted them on how I can get you 5 more clients or cars in here a month. Okay, and the program that I came up with is, first, a lot of it is getting found. Okay, we discovered all those gaps out there on the internet and where we can definitely have a much better presence out there.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest avenue and the quickest from that standpoint and the most impact is going to be on the search engine marketing side, the top and on the right hand side that we talked about before. And what I would be putting together for you is a mid-level program, a level 5. Take a look at it, see what the results that we're getting out of it, and revisit that in about 3 months from that standpoint. Also, we'd be increasing the ad slightly larger in the yellow pages because the other advertisers that are in there, it's easy to jump a lot of those by just 1 extra size. So we'd be going from what we call a business card size ad to more of a dollar bill size ad, which would allow us to add those photos that you had talked about adding as well.
Okay.
And then increasing your presence on Dex Knows with what we call an enhanced pack. And really get that third part of what we call a guaranteed package from that standpoint. And I'll go over those guarantees here with you shortly. So those are three main things. You know, as far as getting chosen for standpoint, you know, I do recommend that you get your own website out there, but I also understand that, you know, that's not a viable source for you right now. You want to work a little bit closer with the dealership from that standpoint. But we do offer websites, we offer mobile websites, and, you know, some things to think about down the road is custom video and, you know, coupons. So those are all things that we offer. I'm just not recommending those at this time. Okay. One thing that was very important to you is the social media aspect. So in this program is included that I put together for you is us managing the top 4 social media sites out there for you. We build the profiles, we manage to them, and we help build your credibility on there and build representation from that standpoint. So we're looking at Facebook, LinkedIn, Google Plus, and Twitter that we help the social media aspect from that and manage it for you.
Okay.
Okay, and then finally, everything's fully tracked. You understand what the program's brought you. We can generate a positive return on investment from that standpoint, how many calls, how many clicks, and everything. And then it's guaranteed. There's a minimum guarantee set behind it. What that program looks like is it's $1,068 a month, generating 912 actions annually,
Okay.
or 76 per month. And that's the number that we really need to get to really drive those 5 new clients to you every month, or $12,500 of revenue. So all I need you to do to get that started here for you today and get those clients rolling in is grab a signature, and I can go back and get it started for you today.
Perfect. Thank you.